Welcome, my dear companion. As the lights outside begin to dim and the bustling rhythm of a long day gently comes to a close, it is time to allow yourself to return to your inherent peace. Let us set aside all the worries and unfinished thoughts of today. Right now, there is nothing you are required to complete, no pressure that can reach you. There is only you, this serene space, and a peaceful night's sleep waiting just ahead. There is a profound philosophy residing in the flow of time, much like the patient rhythm of the terraced fields in the distant highlands. The earth has a time for sowing, a time for plowing, and a time to rest, to embrace new sources of energy. We, as humans, are just the same. After hours of hard work and giving our all to life, the most meaningful thing you can do for yourself right now is to let your body and mind unwind completely. Sleep is a natural connection, a tranquil harbor to nurture, soothe, and restore the inner strength within you. Before we journey together into a peaceful space in the highlands, where the gentle sound of water flows trickling through lush valleys, I would like to invite you to spend a few quiet moments for yourself. If you love these gentle moments of relaxation, please remember to subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button on this video and share your thoughts below in the comments section. Your companionship and interaction are the great motivations that keep me creating these peaceful resting spaces. Now, gently close your eyes, take a deep breath, and let yourself sink into absolute serenity. Start by finding the most comfortable position on your familiar bed. You can lie on your back, with your arms resting naturally by your sides, palms facing up. Or you can lie on your side, choosing any posture that makes your body feel completely relaxed, without any tension or stiffness in any muscle. Adjust your pillow, pull the warm blanket up to your chest, and feel the softness and coziness of your sheets, and the warmth wrapping around you. You are in the safest space, where all fatigue is understood and comforted. Now, let us focus on your breath. You do not need to try to change your breathing rhythm, nor do you need to inhale deeply or exhale forcefully. Just let your breath happen naturally, exactly as it is. Gently breathe in a stream of fresh, cool air from the surrounding space. Feel your chest and abdomen gently rise, filled with peaceful energy. Then, slowly, very slowly, breathe out all the tension and fatigue accumulated in your body. With every breath that leaves you, imagine a wave of relaxation spreading through your entire being. Direct your attention to the top of your head. Relax all the muscles on your scalp. Let the soothing relaxation spread down to your forehead. If you are unknowingly frowning, gently smooth your brow, leaving your forehead calm, flat, and soft. Continue to relax your eyes. Let the muscles around them slowly loosen, and allow your eyelids to close gently and peacefully, like flower petals folding as the night falls. Relax your cheeks, your lips, and your jaw. Let your face soften completely, carrying an expression of absolute tranquility and peace. The warm flow of relaxation continues to move down to your neck and shoulders. Our shoulders are often the place where the most tension accumulates after a long day of work. Actively loosen both shoulders, letting them sink deeper into the plush mattress beneath your back. Feel the lightness spreading down your arms, through your elbows, wrists, and to the very tips of your fingers. The hands that worked tirelessly all day long are now resting, completely loose, free, and holding on to nothing at all. Now, guide your focus along your spine, from the cervical vertebrae down to your lower back. Feel your entire back firmly supported by your bed. Every muscle along your spine is completely released from all pressure. Your chest becomes light. Your heart beats steadily, slowly, and rhythmically, like the ticking of a clock in a silent night. Your abdomen also gently deflates with every exhale, soft and comfortable. Next, bring this deep relaxation down to your hips, thighs, knees, and calves. The legs that helped you stand firm and walk every day can now finally stop. Feel the warmth and lightness spread to your ankles, the soles of your feet, and each tiny toe. Your entire body, from the top of your head to the heels of your feet, has now become a unified whole, weightless and serene. You feel as though your body is melting into the warm, safe space around you. All the trivial sounds outside, the distant hum of traffic, or thoughts about work and tomorrow are fading away, they are no longer important. At this moment, only peace exists within you. You are sheltered, protected in a space overflowing with relaxation. Let your mind drift gently with the soothing melody of this space, ready for a journey into the world of peaceful dreams, where heaven, earth, and the human heart become one. You are letting go, you are at ease, and you are slowly drifting closer to a deep, refreshing sleep. Now that your body is completely relaxed and has found peace in every breath, let your mind step into a journey backward through time and space. Let me take you far away from the noise and bustle of the cramped city, away from the bright but tiring lights of the tall buildings. We are traveling together to a distant highland, where endless mountains touch the cloudy sky, and where nature still preserves its most pristine, pure beauty. Imagine that the clock is now striking 4 in the morning. It is a sacred and silent moment of transition between heaven and earth, when the night is not yet willing to leave, and the new day is still lingering hesitantly behind the distant mountains. The Highland Space at 4 in the morning sinks into an absolute stillness, a silence so deep that you can hear the very breath of the forest. The night dew dropping gently on the wild, swaying wild banana leaves. The fog at this hour is dense, thick like giant strips of white silk, faithfully clinging to the jagged, sharp, karst peaks, turning the entire space into a floating, ethereal sea of clouds. The chill of the early water-pouring season creeps through every crack in the weathered wooden walls of the stilt house. It is not the freezing, biting cold of dry winter days, but a chill that carries the rich moisture of the earth and sky. The scent of plants drenched in night dew, and the earthy aroma of mud waiting for human hands to wake it up. That chill acts as a gentle reminder of the rhythm of the seasons, the beginning of a new growth cycle full of promise. In that enveloping darkness, in the small kitchen of the stilt house built of old pamu wood, where Vang Thi Cho's family lives, the first fire of the day has been lit. Snap, crackle. The sound of dry bamboo catching fire rises slenderly and crisply, breaking the silent atmosphere and enhancing the peace of the early morning. The flickering fire dances on the 3-legged iron trivet, which is shiny black from soot, casting warm, comfortable orange reflections onto Cho's face, which still carries the trace of sleep. She gently rubs her eyes, presses her lips to the bamboo tube, and blows softly to fan the flame into a brighter blaze. Her small hands, bearing a few rough calluses, deftly tidy up around the hearth, preparing everything for a special day. Today is the first day of this year's hired planting season, the day when those hands, along with the other women in the village, will write green lines upon the sloping earth. Cho lifts the lid of the wooden steamer sitting on the hearth. A plume of white steam, rich with the fragrance of freshly cooked Highland sticky rice, immediately rushes out, wrapping around her long black hair, neatly tied up in a bun at the nape of her neck. The sticky rice harvested from the previous season features grains that are round, plump, perfectly sticky, and glossy like pearls, releasing a warm, nurturing scent of abundance that warms the small, misty kitchen. Cho uses a wooden paddle to fluff the rice onto a small bamboo tray to let the steam cool slightly. Then she reaches for a stack of wild banana leaves that her mother had carefully singed over the wood fire last night. When exposed to high heat, The banana leaves turn a deep forest green, becoming soft and releasing the raw, sweet aroma of the great wild woods. She deftly scoops a large portion of sticky rice into the center of the leaf, placing alongside it a few slices of smoked black pork from the hearth rafters that have been stir-fried to a savory saltiness, the fat translucent and rich with primitive salt flavors. Finally, she does not forget to add a spoonful of finely crushed ginger chili salt, a spice excellent for keeping the stomach warm during long days of wading through cold mud. Cho's hands fold the leaf pack into a neat square, binding it tightly with a soft bamboo strip. That humble bundle of food is the sole energy that will sustain her back through the long, demanding day ahead on the towering terraced fields. With the meal prepared, Cho steps softly toward the corner of the room, where a small bed made of old palmu wood stands, under a thick cotton blanket adorned with vibrant brocade patterns. Her 2-year-old child sleeps soundly, rosy-cheeked and breathing evenly, free from any worries. Nearby, the maternal grandmother has already woken up unnoticed. She sits up, pulls the blanket back over her grandson, and looks at Cho with a tender, protective, and understanding gaze. Cho leans down, whispering very softly to avoid startling her child. "Mother, I am leaving now. I left the bundle of rice by the hearth for you. I won't be back at noon. We are planting straight through until late evening to keep up with the schedule at Mr. Sung's farm." The grandmother nods, her voice deep and raspy, a characteristic trait of the Highland elders. "Watch your steps carefully, Cho. Mr. Sung's fields are very steep, and the soil is full of sharp gravel. Don't worry about things here. I will look after the little boy. He is very good and won't cry." Cho smiles gratefully. She leans down, placing a kiss as light as a passing breeze on her son's stubborn forehead, inhaling the faint, milky scent of his skin. A sudden wave of longing for her husband passes through her heart. Her husband left to work as a laborer in the distant Tai Nguyen industrial zone. He hasn't been home for 3 months now, only occasionally sending money and calling through a tiny phone screen. Thinking of her husband, thinking of her child, Cho's eyes grow even more determined. She puts on her dark blue protective jacket, its shoulders worn thin, slips into her moss green rubber boots, and carefully wraps strips of indigo fabric around her calves to protect against leeches and sharp stones. Strapping a bottle of filtered water to her hip, Cho steps quickly out the door. The wooden door opens, and the night mist rushes against her face, cool and refreshing, waking up all her senses. In the distance at the entrance of the village, the flashlights of the other hired planting women have begun to twinkle like fireflies in the night, drawing glowing paths through the thick blanket of fog. Cho walks onward, her heart full of hope for the new day. As her footsteps blend into the grand rhythm of the Highland earth, at 5:30 in the morning, the darkness slowly retreats behind the old bamboo groves. The sky shifts from indigo to a pale rosy orange. Looking down from the top of the mountain pass, the entire valley unfolds like an architectural masterpiece of nature and humanity. Terraces upon terraces of rice fields, curving softly around the mountain slopes, flooded with water. The surface of the fields is as still as giant mirrors, perfectly reflecting each fluffy white cloud and the brightening ribbon of the sky. The harvest season atmosphere wakes the Highland village earlier than usual. Voices call out to one another from stilt porches to distant fields. Dogs bark happily to greet their masters, and the heavy thud of footsteps echoes as groups of people carry tools along the narrow dirt trails. All of this blends into a lively symphony, breaking the silent stillness of the mountain forests. At Mr. Sung's plot of land, the air seems heavy, with the anxiety clearly etched onto the elderly owner's wrinkled face. Mr. Sung stands on the embankment, leaning on a bamboo staff, looking at the lush green seedlings that have grown past their ideal planting age, their leaves starting to turn yellow. His household consists only of the 2 old grandparents, their children having gone far away to make a living. If they cannot plant in time over the next few days while the water is still full, the overgrown seedlings will die, and this season will be a total loss. Catching sight of Cho and Lai's group arriving, Mr. Sung's face relaxes, and he says joyfully, "Thank goodness you are here, children. I have been restless since last night. My fields are so narrow, and the slope is so steep. The other day, I hired a young man from the village with a mini walk-behind planter, but as soon as the machine went down the slope, it almost flipped over. And the embankment width is less than 2 handspans, leaving no room for the machine to turn around. We were completely helpless, my children." Lai laughs out loud, adjusting the conical hat on her head. "Don't you worry, Uncle Sung. Machines have no feelings, nor do they know how to dodge through rock crevices, like our own feet and hands. Leave this terrain to us sisters. Today, whichever plot we finish planting will turn lush green for you." Cho steps to the edge of the field. She looks down into the deep, muddy water. The murky morning mud water is freezing cold. A chill from deep within the earth, shooting straight up her legs. The moment she takes her very first step down, the soft mud reaches past her knees, gripping her rubber boots tightly and making heavy, squelching sounds with every movement. But very quickly, the healthy body of the 24-year-old girl adapts to the cold. She unties the first bundles of seedlings, scattering them evenly around her to keep them within easy reach. As the work begins, the space suddenly becomes remarkably solemn and rhythmic. Cho bends her back, a working posture both patient and resilient, that has been etched deep into the bloodlines of Hmong women through countless generations.
To relieve the pressure on her bare back while bending, her thighs crouch slightly, her left hand resting firmly on her left knee, creating a sturdy support point to bear the weight of her entire body. Her right hand holds a bunch of vibrant green seedlings coated in grayish-brown mud. Every movement Cho makes is precise and swift, like a machine programmed by a love for labor. The thumb and index finger of her right hand deftly separate small clusters of 3 to 4 stalks at a time. Her eyes do not need to look down for long, only glancing quickly to gauge the perfect distance between each rice clump. Immediately after, her arm drives down decisively, plunging the roots of the seedlings deep into the smooth mud. Plop. A tiny, delicate sound rises as the water in the field is parted. Plop, plop, plop. The water makes continuous, steady, crisp, and rapid sounds. It is the most characteristic sound of the planting season, a rustic yet vibrant melody that echoes against the rock walls and dissolves into the open air. Cho walks backward, step by step, moving with immense grace so as not to step on the rows of seedlings she has just planted. Behind her heels, the young green stalks stand in straight lines, perfectly spaced like little soldiers. They stretch out, curving along each soft contour of the terraced embankments, turning the morning's dull gray water into ribbons of vibrant green, beautiful and brimming with youthful life, like a vivid oil painting brought to life between heaven and earth. 12 o'clock noon. The sun has reached its peak, pouring brilliant golden rays down into the valley, causing the unplanted fields to shimmer like shattered mirrors. By now, Cho's back is aching all over. Sweat beads on her forehead, flowing in streams down her cheeks, soaking the inner rim of her conical hat. Lai, standing in the terrace row just above, raises her head, thumps her lower back with her hand, and calls out loudly, "Hey, sisters, let's rest our hands, it's 12 o'clock. Only with a full belly can the hands have the strength to plant the seedlings again." The call acts like a soothing balm. Cho stops working, stands up straight, and takes a deep breath to enjoy the cool breeze blowing up from the valley. She wades up onto the narrow embankment, using the cool spring water flowing from a nearby rock crevice to wash away the mud clinging to her hands and feet. The group of 4 women sits right on the lush green grass of the embankment, which is only about 3 handspans wide on the terraced ridge. There are no tables or chairs, no grand feasts. The earthen ridge is their table, and the banana leaves are their plates. Cho carefully opens her bundle of food. The fragrant scent of Highland sticky rice immediately blends into the air, stimulating everyone's appetite after a morning of arduous labor. Lai breaks her grilled dry fish in half, handing one piece to Cho. "Try some of my family's fish, Cho. My husband caught it in the large stream last week and dried it over the hearth rafters. It goes best with this sticky rice." Cho takes it, smiling in return. "Yes, thank you, sister. Try a piece of my family's black pork. It's nice and savory, so you won't lose your strength while planting." They eat while sharing sips of cool, filtered water, the sound of chewing mixing with hearty laughter that echoes through a corner of the forest, because the terraced terrain here is very narrow and stacked like steps leading to heaven. The standing distance between the fields is very close. A person on the upper terrace only needs to look down, and a person on the lower terrace only needs to look up to see each other's faces clearly and converse without having to walk back and forth. May, a hired planter working on the lower terrace layer, speaks up while chewing her rice, tilting her head back to call upwards. "Cho, is your little boy good lately? When I passed by this morning, he was still sleeping very soundly." Cho swallows her rice quickly, leaning down toward the edge of the embankment to call back down. "He is very good, Sister May. When he's with his grandmother, he eats well and sleeps well. The only thing is he misses his mother every night. Whenever he wakes up, he reaches out for me. Working out here like this, I miss my child terribly at noon, but I have to endure and keep trying." Lai chimes in, her voice full of understanding. "A mother working hard through this 1-month season can earn enough money to raise her child for half a year. By the way, has your husband been calling home a lot lately? Working down in the lowlands must be very exhausting, right?" Cho blushes slightly, her eyes sparkling with joy. "He does, sister. He calls every single night. My husband says it's very hot down there. There is no cool mountain breeze like we have here, and he works in a factory where the machines run loudly all day long. He said he will try to take a few days off next month to come home and visit us. He says he misses the Highland sticky rice and misses his wife and child so much." May giggles, teasing her playfully. "Oh, come on. He misses his wife primarily. Missing the sticky rice is just an excuse, Cho. When your husband returns this time, you'll probably end up with another baby on the way." The entire group bursts into loud laughter. The clear, innocent laughter of the Highland women echoes into the karst mountain walls, blending with the sweet chirping of wild birds. These simple stories about family, husbands, children, and the worries of earning a living shared together have become an invisible bond. That mutual empathy and those delicate jests make all the fatigue and soreness from bending over for 7 hours in the morning seem to vanish into the mountain breeze. At 1:30 in the afternoon, the quick lunch comes to an end. Everyone clambers back down into the fields to continue the unfinished work. The afternoon highland sun begins to grow more intense. The sunlight pours down like golden honey onto the terraces, creating waves of sweltering heat rising from the murky water. The back of Cho's protective shirt is completely soaked, clinging to her skin. After many hours of being submerged in muddy water, her hands are starting to turn white and wrinkled. Yet, her speed does not decrease at all. The old bending posture is reestablished. The left hand supports the knee for leverage, while the right hand separates seedlings, gauges the distance, and drives them down. The sounds of plop, plop, plop still rise steadily and rhythmically, like the heartbeat of a skilled planter. Whenever she gets too tired, Cho pauses for a few seconds, standing up straight to catch the wild, cool breeze while calculating in her mind. Every corner of the field filled with green means she is getting closer to her goal. For a hard day of hired planting like this, she is paid 250,000 Vietnamese dong. To the Highland people, this is by no means a small sum of money, earned through sweat and the endurance of their joints. Cho calculates in her head that during this peak month of hired planting, taking advantage of the agricultural downtime. If she works diligently without a single day off, she will accumulate a handsome sum, 250,000. Today's work earns a sack of good rice for my son and grandmother. Tomorrow's will pay for milk and medicine in case the baby falls ill. The day after tomorrow's will buy a few sets of warm clothes to save for the upcoming winter. Thinking of this, a remarkably warm feeling suddenly surges within Cho's heart. She especially looks forward to the district market day at the end of this month. With her own money earned by her own hands tucked away in her pocket, she will walk down to the market with total confidence. She will buy her son a red plastic toy car that he always longs for, whenever he sees it on television, and buy her mother a new, warm wool scarf to replace her old, frayed one. And perhaps she will set aside a small portion to buy a new headscarf for herself, beautifully embroidered with intricate brocade patterns using 5-colored threads. She will wear that scarf on the day she welcomes her husband home on leave. She wants her husband to see that even though he works far away, she remains independent at home, takes excellent care of the family, and is still his most beautiful wife. These happy thoughts act like an invisible source of strength pouring into Cho's aching hands. The sound of water ploppings rises even more crisply under the gathering shadows of late afternoon. By 6 o'clock in the evening, the sun has vanished completely behind the western mountains, leaving streaks of deep purple and fiery red across the twilight sky. The mist from the deep valleys begins to crawl lazily upward once more, bringing with it the familiar, crisp chill of the night. That is also when the very last terraced field of Mr. Sung's farm is completed. Looking down from above, thousands of young seedling clumps stand perfectly upright and orderly, draping a soothing green coat over the sloping land that was barren this morning. The tapestry of the terraced fields is now complete, overflowing with the vibrant life of new growth. Mr. Sung walks along the embankment, his elderly eyes unable to hide his deep emotion and admiration. He removes his beret, wiping away tears of happiness from the corners of his eyes, and pulls crisp, smoothed banknotes from his indigo jacket pocket. He hands them directly to Cho and the other women, his voice trembling with gratitude. "Thank you so much, my children. Without your hands, my family would have lost everything this season. The machines admitted defeat, but our human will has conquered this steep terrain. This is your wage. Please take it, so I can rest easy." Cho receives the money from Mr. Sung's hands. 5 banknotes of 50,000 dong denomination, totaling 250,000 Vietnamese dong. She carefully smooths down each corner of the notes, looking at them under the dimming light of twilight, then folds them neatly, placing them reverently into the zippered inner chest pocket of her protective jacket. The weight of those thin banknotes against her chest brings an extraordinary sense of security and warmth. Cho bids farewell to Mr. Sung and the sisters to head home. Her footsteps along the rocky, sloping path back to the village feel exhausted now. Her thighs tremble after more than 12 hours of bending under the muddy water, and both her shoulders ache. Yet her mood is as light as a feather drifting floatingly in the midair. Far down in the valley, her village has begun to light up. Warm yellow pinpricks of light glow from the stilt houses, looking like fallen stars upon the earth. Smoke from the hearths begins to rise, blending into the evening mist, carrying the rustic scent of dry firewood and the cozy aroma of evening dinner. Cho quickens her pace, forgetting the fatigue in her feet, passing the bamboo grove at the entrance of the village, coming from her mother's stilt house. She can already hear the bright, clear laughter of her little boy, playing with his grandmother on the porch. That laughter echoes through the silent air of the Highland evening, touching the young mother's heart and completely washing away the hardships of a long, grueling workday. A day of hired planting at the start of the season for the Hmong girl draws to a close just like that. Simple and peaceful, yet overflowing with love, responsibility, and shimmering hopes for a brighter tomorrow. The gentle sound of rice terraces is not merely a story about seasonal labor in the highlands. It is a soothing hymn honoring the resilient and patient beauty of Hmong women in particular. and Vietnamese laborers in general. The story demonstrates that when faced with the harsh challenges of natural terrain, where even the most modern technology or machinery must bow in defeat, the skillful hands, human endurance, and the cultural tradition of mutual labor exchange will always find a way to overcome. At the same time, the work conveys a profound humanistic message about happiness. True happiness does not lie in grand, exhausting achievements, but is found within the honest sweat of labor, in the simple joy of caring for those we love, and in the peace of a home where the laughter of a child awaits our return after a long, hard day. Though life may be full of worries, as long as there is love and hope to serve as an anchor, human hands can bring green life to rocky hillsides, offering a lasting peace to the soul. As Cho's footsteps touch the warm wooden threshold of the stilt house, the surrounding environment also begins to shift deftly into a state of total rest. This transition takes place naturally and softly, like a gentle mist, slowly enveloping all creation after a long day of movement. Darkness has now truly taken domain over the vast mountain forest. The brilliant twilight from late afternoon quickly yields to a deep indigo hue, before gradually turning into a silent, mysterious night that feels entirely protective. The Highland village down in the valley seems to melt into the night, the warm yellow lights glowing from the windows of the stilt houses, which just moments ago looked like fallen stars, now begin to dim, thinning out before turning off completely. All the lively calling activities of the hired planting season and shared labor have come to an absolute close. There is no longer the heavy thud of footsteps along the rocky trails, no longer the barking of dogs greeting their masters, nor the joyful, subtle teasing among the Hmong women across the narrow terrace layers. All the sounds of the daytime struggle for a livelihood have been tucked away, giving way to an expansive, deep, and pure silence. Inside Cho's small home, the bright, clear laughter of her 2-year-old son also grows quieter and quieter over time. After eating a spoonful of the perfectly sticky Highland rice and inhaling the familiar scent of his young mother returning from the distant fields, the child is full, satisfied, and sinks into a well-behaved sleep. His even, soft breathing mixes with the warm, raspy, and deeply tender breathing of the grandmother, creating a remarkably peaceful rhythm. The bamboo wood hearth that burned brightly and danced with flickering flames this morning now holds only warm, glowing embers silently smoldering beneath the black soot of the 3-legged trivet. The fire has completed its mission of warming and lighting the day. Now it retreats deep into the gray ash, radiating a gentle, rustic warmth that tempers the crisp chill drifting down from the high peaks. As the people and all things in the village find their peaceful harbor, beneath the old palmu wood roofs, out in the open expanse of nature, a new melody rises. This is the moment when the sound of water trickling through the terraced embankments becomes most distinct. In the absolute silence of the dark night, the sound of water is no longer obscured by any other noises. It rises slenderly, steadily, rhythmically, and clearly, like a lyrical ballad of the great wild woods. Water from the high rock crevices creeps through the old bamboo groves, spilling into Mr. Sung's topmost field. Then, from that narrow plot, the cool water, whose morning mud has now settled into a mirror-like stillness, deftly slips through the narrow gaps in the earthen banks to cascade into the terrace below. The water gurgles and whispers, as if telling the rows of perfectly straight seedlings about the resilient labor of humans during the day. The water falls gently from one terrace layer to the next, creating a continuous rhythmic chain of sound that possesses depth and pitch, yet remains incredibly soothing. It is like a sweet lullaby from Mother Earth, gently comforting the young green stalks that were just plunged deep into the smooth mud by Cho's skillful hands. The rustic melody of flowing water echoes against the karst mountain walls, spreading across the valley space, before slowly dissolving into the starry night sky. the boundary between reality and dreams, between the story of the grueling planting day and the deep relaxation of the mind, is now completely erased. You no longer feel the presence of any worries or fatigue. Your mind drifts gently with the trickling water, fading softly into the silent night, ready to let go of everything to sink into a peaceful, dreamlike state. Now, the entire world around you has settled into a state of complete stillness. The Highland Space at this hour is nothing but a monochromatic painting of the vast, silent night. Full of protective comfort, let your mind loose entirely, drifting along with the soothing flow of the darkness. The terraced fields, layered upon one another and curving softly around the mountain slopes, are now sleeping quietly beneath the twinkling, starry sky. The thousands, tens of thousands of vibrant green seedling clumps that thrived by day are now folding their leaves, standing silently in the warm, smooth mud, welcoming the cool night dew pouring down from the great forest. Nature is resting. The mountains and forests are resting. And you, too, are resting in the most complete way possible. Feel the absolute silence enveloping your bed. The warmth from your soft blanket is like a tender hug, nurturing and protecting you from the crisp chill of the wild night outside. Your breathing by now has become incredibly slow, steady, and faint, like a passing breeze through the old bamboo grove at the entrance of the village. With every breath out, the tiniest remaining bit of tension in your mind continues to dissolve into nothingness. Your body is weightless, as though devoid of any gravity, drifting floatingly in a space of absolute peace and safety. The sound of water trickling through the terraced fields from before is now also growing quieter, more distant, and fainter. That sound is now merely a faint whisper, like a lullaby from a distant land, rhythmically soothing your consciousness into a state of deep, total sleep. You no longer need to listen, nor do you need to think or analyze anything at all. Every image of the wooden stilt house, the flickering fire, the warm bundle of Highland sticky rice, or Cho's smile is fading away, blurring softly, and yielding to an empty, peaceful space filled with deep, serene relaxation. You are sinking deeper, even deeper into sleep, a good, peaceful, and dreamless sleep. Let your body heal and restore its energy completely throughout this night. All the worries of yesterday have closed. Tomorrow has not yet arrived. And at this moment, only absolute peace exists within you. Sleep soundly, sleep beautifully, wrapped in the gentle embrace of heaven and earth. Before your mind completely sinks into the timeless realm of a good night's sleep, I have a small message for you. When you wake up tomorrow morning, with a body full of fresh energy and a refreshed spirit, please remember to return to this video to leave a comment sharing your sleep experience. Your likes, your subscriptions, and your warm feedback after every night's sleep are the most precious gifts that keep me building these wonderful, relaxing spaces. For now, let go of everything and drift with the soothing flow of the night. Sleep well, my dear companion. Fall into a deep, beautiful sleep. Sleep well,